Hello everyone, welcome to Grade 5 Science class. In your previous lessons, you learned about the different properties of matter. For today's lesson, you learn more about the other properties of matter. The other properties of matter are opaque, transparent, translucent, brittle, flexible, strong, hard or rigid, rough, smooth, shiny, synthetic, natural, absorbent, waterproof, and magnetic. What is opaque? Opaque are any materials that are not transparent or any material that does not let the light to pass through. Let us take, for example, this picture of a person holding a flashlight. The person shed a light on the wood, but the light did not pass through the other side. The wood did not allow the light to pass through it. And also, if you look directly to the wood, you wouldn't see the other side of it. Therefore, a wood is an opaque object. Examples of opaque objects are books, brick walls, cardboard, wood table, and more. Another properties of matter is transparent. What is transparent? Transparent is an object that is clear and allows light to pass through it. Let us take, for example, this clear glass of water. The glass allowed the sunlight to pass through it. And also, if you look directly to the glass, you can clearly see the other side of it. Therefore, it is a transparent object. Examples of transparent objects are test tubes, plastic covers, clear plastic bag, window shopping glass, and more. Another properties of matter is translucent. What is translucent? Translucent are any object that allows some light to pass through. Let us take, for example, this wax paper. Wax paper allows some light to pass through the other side. If you shed light on a translucent object, only some light can pass through it, unlike transparent objects where all light can pass through it. Translucent objects are partially clear objects. Examples of translucent objects are plastic cups, frosted glass, plastic, paper, and more. So, what is the difference between opaque, translucent, and transparent objects? Take a look of this picture. In an opaque object, you cannot see the body of the giraffe. In a translucent object, you can partially see the body of the giraffe, and in transparent object, you can clearly see the body of the giraffe. In a transparent object, all light passes through. In a translucent object, some light passes through, and in an opaque object, no light passes through. Now, let us identify whether the objects are opaque, transparent, or translucent. Another properties of matter is brittle. What is brittle? Brittle are any object having hardness and rigidity but little tensile strength, breaking readily with a comparative smooth fracture as glass. In simpler terms, brittle are materials that easily breaks or unstretchable. Let us take, for example, a glass plate. When a glass plate falls on the ground, it easily breaks. Another examples of brittle objects are cookies, ceramic pot, glass, and more. Another properties of matter is strong, hard, or rigid. Strong, hard, or rigid are the same. It is any object that does not easily breaks, unflexible, or unstretchable. An example of strong, hard, or rigid object is a wood table. Another examples are hammer, stone, metal such as gold, and more. Another properties of matter is flexible. What is flexible? Flexible are any object that are stretchable or bendable. It is the ability of an object to bend or stretch without breaking. An example of a flexible object is a rubber band. Another examples of flexible objects are different kinds of rubber, paper, and more. Paper is not stretchable, but it is bendable. That is why it is considered as flexible object. Now, let us identify whether the objects are brittle, hard, or flexible. Another properties of matter is rough. What is rough? Rough are any object with an even surface. When you touch a rough object, it feels bumpy, rocky, or sharp. An example of rough object is a sponge. Another examples are durian, pineapple, and more. Another properties of matter is smooth. Smooth objects are objects with an even surface. Smooth objects are opposite of rough objects. An example of smooth objects are tiles. Another examples are the surface of this ball, the surface of an apple, and more. Another properties of matter is shiny. These are any materials that reflects light. Some smooth materials are shiny, but take note, not all smooth materials are shiny. Let us take for example these tiles and cloth. These tiles are both shiny and smooth, but this cloth is smooth but not shiny. Now let us identify whether the objects are smooth, shiny, or rough. Another properties of material is synthetic. What is synthetic? Synthetic are any object made by chemical reactions. These are materials that are not natural or cannot be seen naturally in the environment. An example of synthetic materials are materials made from plastics. Another examples are rubber, glass, aluminum foil, and more. Another properties of matter is natural. These are anything that can be found in nature or environment. An example of natural objects are objects made from wood or trees. Another examples are plants, herbs, fruits, shells, and more. Now let us identify whether the objects are natural or synthetic. Another properties of matter is absorbent. Absorbent objects has the ability to soak water or absorb liquid. An example of absorbent object is a sponge. Another examples are tissue paper, towel, and more. Another properties of matter is waterproof. Waterproof objects are any objects that does not absorb water. It does not let water pass through it. An example of waterproof objects is plastic. Another examples are rain boots, glass, and more. Now, Let us identify whether the objects are absorbent or waterproof. Another properties of matter is magnetic. These are any objects that attracts another objects. These are objects that is attracted to a magnet. These are mostly made of iron. Examples of magnetic objects are magnet and iron nails. Let us take note that an object does not only have one property. An object may have one or more properties. Now, let us identify the properties of matter. For more grade 5 to 10 science lessons, click the subscribe button below.